I'm Aaron Gallo.
I'm Marty Hogan.
And I'm Eric Perry.
And we're from the Starfleet Escape podcast. And you're listening to another great Four-Eyed Radio product. For more shows, check out foureyedradio.com.
Hey there, Eric here from Socially Awkward Studios, and this Four-Eyed Radio presentation is being proudly brought to you by Raven Designs, illustration and design that fit your personality. For samples and inquiries, visit ravencruise.com.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Another episode of Appropriately Inappropriate. Welcome back to those that have listened to the show before. For those that have not, welcome in for your first time. We are a comedy podcast with me, Kevin Elliott, and my co-host.
I'm Nancy.
And what we do is we bring in a comedy friend of ours every week to discuss them, how they started in comedy. We tell funny stories. We just kind of have a conversation, and we hope that you guys enjoy it. We have a lot of fun with it. So thank you for coming back or listening for the first time. For everyone that listened to last week's live show, we apologize for the sound quality. It kind of sucked. There's really no excuse. We thought it came out perfect, and it turns out it just didn't. It didn't come out that great.
It was fun, though.
It was a lot of fun. And thank you to everybody that came out and to the people that performed. We had Chappelle Lacey, Jason Hill, Mike Dapper, Justin Teachin, and Josh Graves. Guys, you all did awesome. You were really, really funny. But again, apologies for the sound quality. We're going to continue to work on it, and we're going to get it right from now on. I don't know how we fucked that one up. Actually, I do. We didn't bring equipment that we had before because we thought we knew what we were doing. And we didn't.
Again, Kevin and I, technically, not so much. We try. We mean well.
I don't try.
I mean well. Kevin doesn't try.
All these guys come into the club and they help set up. Because I asked them, there's like 15 people that come in. And I'm like, hey guys, help set up. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Just make sure it sounds right. And then I just leave the room completely because I don't know what the fuck they're doing. And they ask, hey, man, you want to help? I'm like, if I do, I'm just getting in the way. Just set the shit up and let me know when it's good to go.
Just like when we were kids, how can I help? Just get out of the way.
Totally.
Go play video games.
All right. So, first, you can find me at Kevin_Elliott on Twitter, Facebook, Kevin Elliott, and I don't do Instagram. I don't take pictures.
Oh, you have boundaries when it comes to social media.
I just don't take photos and post them. I think it's stupid.
I think it's stupid too. Okay, so I don't have what's it called, a Twitter. I did, but it got hacked, and now I can't get in.
Oh no shit!
Yeah, that's why I can't do Twitter.
You have way more followers.
Right.
Someone hacked it and actually did
right. So that would be besides you. That would be my second follower. So thank you, whoever hacked my Twitter. Thank you for following me.
That's awesome.
So don't follow me on Twitter. Follow me on our page, Appropriately Inappropriate. Like it and follow me there. That's a good way to follow me.
Good call. Also, let's see. You can see me shows coming up tonight, Sunday evening, August 31st. 7:30 p.m. tonight at Stand Up Scottsdale. The Michael Turner's monthly showcase is tonight. I'm going to be on it. The lineup is crazy good. So, guys, get out there. It's $10 to get in. You're going to really enjoy it. Thomas Dale is headlining that one. We're going to have a lot of fun. And I'm probably going to win. Whatever. And then, I've won 4 out of 5 that I've done. Are you really?
Change your status. Feeling overconfident.
Dude, I'm way
overly
confident.
Feeling blessed.
I'll probably lose because this lineup is pretty damn good. I really feel like I'm
feeling all drunk and fiery tonight.
And then you can see me September 6th, main room, Stand Up Scottsdale. I'll be with Jamie Lee, and that show's at 7:30. We're going to literally kill it. So everybody get your tickets to that show because no bullshit, that one's going to be A+. Bring in A+ material. We're coming to literally make you laugh harder than you've ever laughed your entire life. Jamie Lee is from MTV's Girl Coach. She's really funny, and hopefully I'm funny too that night. But it'll be really fun. So that's September 6th, Saturday, 7:30. Now, our guest this week has listened to this goddamn intro like, wow, they are really full of themselves.
I was just so excited to finally say where you can follow me. Even though you could have followed me there this whole time. I just figured it out. Sorry.
Okay.
And thank you for coming.
Our guest this week is comedian Zack Lyman. How you doing, my man?
I'm doing good. You guys are interesting.
That's as professional as we get. We hate every second of it.
Okay.
Like, he sounds like he's got it right on. We are interesting.
Yeah, pretty interesting intros. It reminds me of like I one time did a morning radio show, and I swear the name of the show was like 20 sentences long. And I was
The
just
whole
sitting-
name of the show?
Yeah, just the name. And he's like, and I got dog in the house pen, and Kyle's over. I'm like, what is happening right now? Like, I was like, is there mushrooms happening? Like, I didn't know. It was an interesting show, and I liked your guys' intro though.
Thanks, man. Thanks for sticking
I
with
liked
it.
that you explained the hacking situation, just in case anyone wasn't aware. Your followers will be pleased with that. I was following. I thought I was really following her. Now I'm not.
Follower.
I didn't know why she was trying to sell me cell phones all day.
So, Zach, where can everybody find you? Social media, shows coming up, everything.
Yeah, I shop at Fry's often. You can see me there. You can see me at Walgreens sometimes. I may borrow your card. I don't know. I tweet probably the most. Zack Lyman, at Zack Lyman.
How do they spell it?
ZackLyman. And, you can find me on Facebook, Zack, ZackLyman.
Sure, man.
And those are my main things that I do. When I really got into comedy, I wasn't very good at the whole marketing thing. But over time, I realized that you can just make fun of people on Twitter. And
That's all
like,
you do, dude.
Yeah, and then celebrities are like, I'll follow that. I'll see what other things will he say about us.
Do you have, who's the top celebrity you have following you?
One of my favorites I actually interact with would be Sean O'Connor, the head writer from Norm's podcast and then Norm's Sports. He's a really cool guy, and I'll tweet back and forth with him. And that all started because he was tweeting at 3 a.m. and I was drunk at 3 a.m. And I was like, what if you talked more about dildos in your set? And he's just like, follow. That's probably there's always like that random celebrity that'll follow you, and then you look at their page and they have like 200,000 people that are also following.
Dude, I'm not going to lie to you. I looked at Justin Bieber's Twitter thing.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, how many does this kid really have following him? It's like 56 million people.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fucking followers. And I looked and he's following like 200,000 people.
Yeah.
I said, what the fuck, man?
He just
If
logs
it's
on and goes accept, follow.
I'll take him as a follower. That's a pretty good cred.
Finger just must
Right.
be
Yeah, so I sent a
numb.
message to him. I'm like, dude, 200,000, man. You can follow a legit person, I guess. No response, nothing.
He's
But then
following 2,000. He can't see anything.
No, he doesn't look at anything. But then I looked at the people he follows, and it's all like their Twitter handles are like Justin Bieber fan, Bieber fanatic. It's all his name. They just follow back.
it's-
If I
Someone
follow,
else
they're going to
handles his
buy
fan
more
page.
stuff. That's really
Totally.
that's ridiculous.
56 million people.
Right?
Oh, no wonder that kid is just.
All he
fucking-
needs following him is iTunes. That's it. That's the only friend he needs.
I think it's
Other
funny
than
that at like that point you're so big. It's like, why do you have a promotional company? Why do you pay all these people to sell your stuff? You just tweet about it.
No
you know?
shit.
Like
Am I
Beyonce.
legally allowed to follow the Beeb yet? I mean, is he of age? Can I follow him yet?
I think so. He
Not
gets
in
tattoos.
person. I don't think you can follow him. I think that's called stalking.
Or pedophile? I don't know. I'm quite a bit older than him. But I do like that one song, My Girlfriend or whatever that. I don't remember.
You're
Yeah, we
asking
don't
the
know,
wrong
Boyfriend.
people.
Boyfriend.
Sure.
That was a good one.
Yeah, that one.
I don't think I was old enough, or he's not old enough. I think it's illegal. It doesn't feel right. He's
Yeah.
gross.
Okay.
Maybe I'm gross. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, I
haven't
think
been
you
to
shouldn't
jail
be
though,
really
and he's
talking
been to
about
jail, so
like
maybe
that.
that's okay.
Has he? He hasn't been to jail. He just gets in trouble and then he gets let off.
Well, I haven't done either of those.
When
so-
every inmate in prison is like, please bring him in here.
He just probably like makes it rain at the office. They're like, "You're in trouble." He's like, "Yeah, whatever. Just here, it's fine."
Yeah.
Here's a
you guys want
grand,
some a
just
week
hang
paid
out.
vacations? I got all of you. Here you go.
Hey, you guys want new bulletproof vests? Just buys the whole
How much money does that
Department.
fucking kid have?
Net worth game?
trillion.
Yeah, I'm going to
Go.
look it up. Net worth
All
game.
right,
Take
go.
a real guess. Trillions,
Okay,
no way.
Okay, I'm
You
not.
guess
Okay,
Take a real
guess?
guess, yeah.
I'm going 82 million. Go.
Ooh,
Whoa.
82 million. That's a little high.
Jazz hands.
I'd say like 40 million.
40?
Wait, in Canada dollars?
I don't
US
know it. I'm going to
dollars.
guess that it's 100 million.
82. And you guess 40?
I guess 40.
Ooh. Oh, shit.
What is it?
$200 million.
Never mind.
Shit. Who
Well
you won?
over $200 million.
Because he had that movie.
What do you even do with that?
It says he earns, let's see, he earns $50 plus million per year from album sales, touring, merchandise, and product endorsements.
I hate that kid.
Yeah, the more
Holy
famous,
shit.
more famous you are, the more money they just
Wait,
throw
what did
at
you say, 100?
Yeah.
So you
I was I was Price is
He
Right.
just threw a dollar amount out.
Yeah.
You were Price is Writing it. You didn't actually believe he was
I
worth
really did
that.
thought it was $100 million.
So you were going to go $1 or $100 million. I know you.
Okay, I looked
know.
up. Well, I looked up these two today randomly. I'm obsessed with net worths.
Really?
Yeah, it's a
Why?
weird. I have no
That's his
idea.
game.
It's a weird thing.
And you're a comedian?
Yeah, I'm obsessed with it. Jay-Z and Beyonce combined net worth.
$450 million.
Yeah, like 600 million.
Well, it's
All
either
right.
$1 or
It's $900 million.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jay-Z's $510 million and Beyonce's $400 million.
Really?
Yeah.
I think she's the better talent.
But owns like every company in the world.
Yeah.
All right. So Marriage on the Rocks, you're worth how many million? 100.
Yeah.
That'll just be a
900,000.
clean split.
Yeah.
It probably would be
500
like, we're
million
divorced, we're
each.
out, we both have a shitload
Yeah.
of money.
I hope the kid gets enough child support. That's you know.
Yeah.
For the children.
Hopefully he can keep up that lifestyle.
Hopefully.
Or she.
You don't want the children to suffer.
I know. Yeah, suffering. Terrible. Your childhood's going to be horrible.
How about one last one and then we'll get to you, Zach. I'm sorry, whatever. Kim
cool. No,
Kardashian and Kanye West combined net worth.
340 million.
Oh, God. 5 billion.
No.
Billion.
Not billion.
That's silly.
They're actually only 155 million.
Between the two of them together?
Yeah, well, because
Well, after he bought her that ring, I mean, there's.
I think they would have like
most of the
side
millions.
businesses. That's why I'm like,
yeah,
those
but
numbers.
together
Is
got
a side
155.
business.
She
That's
really
all she is side businesses.
It's
There's
all-
no like major career than
It's all
side
puppets for
businesses.
Illuminati. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true. And everybody drink two for a Kardashian reference. So Zach, let's get to you a little bit here. First of all, you look like you're 8.
I do.
He's
I'm aware of
just
this.
jealous.
How old are you?
I've never been carded in my life. I'm 24.
That's
So
why.
you're a young guy. When did you get into stand-up?
Long story short, how I started was when I was like 17. A family friend ran a coffee shop and was like, I'm trying to put together a variety night. I need like a host with energy, and I guess I'll go with you. And I was like, all right, yeah, I'll try that out. And so I was supposed to like write like 5 minutes of material and do like 5 up top and then just bring up all these crazy people. And then the day of the show, he goes, yeah, no one's coming, so I just need you to fill time. And so I did. I filled a lot of time and did some improv. And I was like, man, I could really take this seriously. And that was like when I was like 17, 18. And
Yeah.
so Arizona, it's hard to get into the clubs when you're that young. So I ended up doing like a lot of stuff like that. A lot of just like coffee shops and booking my own stuff. Colleges, like small festival things, and I was doing that for a while. So I guess like 4 to 5 years, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 to 5 years of like really taking it serious.
Were you always interested in comedy, or was it something that hit you later?
I was always interested. I actually, before I did stand up, when I was in high school, I made a movie with my friends, and it played in a couple Harkins theaters. And that was like my first big thing of like comedy, like that I could actually like show someone. I was always the guy that made jokes in class and stuff, but yeah, when I was in high school, I made that movie, and it was a friend that had already done a movie before, and so he just showed me like about skits and stuff like that, and ended up learning how to edit videos that way, and yeah, so I did that when I was like 16, and that just led right into stand up. But yeah, I always had a feeling I'd go this way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it something like for a lot of comics, they see a comedian, like they're special, or they hear him on something, and then they're like that's what got me into stand up. Like that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
That was it anything with that with you, or did you just kind of?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. My dad had records, and he showed me The Jerk when I was really young with Steve Martin.
Love
awesome.
that movie.
That's one of the greatest movies to this day. It's still one of my
Amazing.
favorite movies. And my dad showed me like a lot of his stand-up. And my dad was always really interested in stand-up.
Yeah.
And so that's where I really get it from. So he showed me Steve Martin, and that just like blew my mind. I was like, this guy's hilarious. And I still feel that way about Steve Martin. But yeah, that was really what it was. It was Steve Martin. And then my dad had like one of the Robin Williams albums. And I would just listen to those a lot as a kid. and I knew like all of King Tut and all that stuff, and yeah, that's what really like kind of put me on that path a little more. Plus, when I was growing up, Comedy Central was like always running like the like half-hour specials and stuff. Like during the day, they had nothing else to show. They're like, let's just show Mark Maron in the '90s over and over. And I was like, yeah, all right, I'll watch that. So yeah, that's really what led into that.
Cool, man. And how would you how would you best describe? It's a weird question when I ask this. I don't think any comic likes it, but I keep asking it. How would you best describe your comedy?
Oh man, anytime someone asks me that,
it's a
shitty
shitty question.
No, I'm kidding. No, it's not a shitty question. I think for people that listen to comedy or people that are trying to get into comedy or any like early stages, that's always a good question to like know about someone. How would you describe it? And I think mine's very observational, and then just like just very like I guess like self-loathing in a way. And lately, it's been kind of a little slapsticky.
Yeah?
With, like, mixed in there. I don't know where that's coming from. I don't know what... Like, really, recently, what I've been doing is, like, if a joke bombs, for some reason, I've been having fun with this, where, like, I have a joke about naps. That's just a dumb joke.
Came to the right place.
Yeah, dude.
Okay,
Naps
great.
are our thing, man.
So, the whole joke's just stupid. But, like...
Not to us.
So, like, it doesn't really work, but it works the way I do it now is if, like, a joke bombs, I just start the joke over. Like, I go, oh, okay, well, you guys ever take naps? And then, like, I just do the whole joke over, and they're like, he's really going for it. And I'll act like it's a new idea, and then I'll do it for, like, a third time, and then I'll get halfway through it, and then I'll do kind of like the 80s, like, you guys getting with it? You guys know what's happening? Naps, guys. Naps. They're trending. They're trending. And I just been. That's like it's just getting weird.
No, I love. That's great.
But they're riffs, right? Like
Yeah.
it's not something planned. It just happens like a riff, and then you keep that going.
Yeah, you know, even like if a joke that's worked a million times one night, I'm just kind of skipping through it or messing up. I'll just do that. I'll just start over. Like, it's a new idea.
Yeah.
Just go through it. And they're like, man, he's going to waste 3 minutes of his set doing a whole joke again? And I'm like, yeah, that's my life now.
Oh, shit.
I feel like that's how I talk to people sometimes when I say something funny, and I know it's funny, and I'm forced to hang around. We'll call them moms, whatever.
Okay.
Other friends that are my friends. And they don't get it.
Their children call them moms, too.
Right. And I look at them, I'm like, why didn't you think that was funny? And I find myself saying it again, and Kevin's told me, no, don't do that, that's bad. But I think that they're so stupid for not getting it the first time that I have to repeat myself.
Yeah.
And maybe, like, dumb it down in a way that they get it.
Right,
I don't
right.
know. That's why I don't get along with a lot of people. I'm not for everyone. I always say that. I'm not for everyone.
What you should do next time is just, like, instead of, like, going for it again, just add, like, a crazy twist to it, you know?
Yeah.
Be like, yeah, naps, and that's why I don't trust Mexicans, you know? See if they like,
he's on to something.
see if they're like listening, really, because then
Yeah.
they're like, if they disagree with you, you're like, wow, I should stop hanging out with racists. That's what I should.
Yeah. You know, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Because I do have this problem. I'm bringing these things up to people, and I'm talking, and they're not laughing, and I'm thinking, okay, one, you're not listening, or
Right.
two, you're completely stupid, and this relationship ends here.
That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
A lot of times people don't think I'm funny. Like when I'm working like the whole
That's
day
great
job.
to have as a comic.
Yeah, like well, you know the whole like day
Well,
job thing. Like I remember I'd have so many terrible day jobs, and I came to a point where I just stopped telling people I was a comedian because I just wouldn't be funny at work. You know, I'll just be cooking or whatever, and they're like, "Aren't you gonna say something about Carol? Look at her hair today." And I'm like, "I really don't care about Carol. That's why I'm not even gonna waste my energy on Carol. Who cares?"
Are you like for me, when somebody finds out that I'm a comedian,
Yeah.
like, or someone says, "Oh, he's really funny," I try way too hard to be funny, and it comes out as just horrible. I'm not funny at all.
When I started, yeah. I definitely, when I started doing comedy, I felt like I had something to prove. I was young. And so I was like I'd intently listen and try to twist everything into a joke.
Yeah.
And I just became the annoying guy in the room. They're like, why is he talking so much? Everything's like a joke. They're like, I went to the car wash. I'm like, car washes, huh? What about car wash? And they're like,
you pull on your neck.
He's sweating. No one's laughing. It's awkward.
Shit,
We've all
that's
been
funny.
there.
Yeah, and they're like, why? No, Zach. And so now not as much. Now I'm usually the quiet guy that like it takes like 4 times hanging out with me before I'm like, oh yeah, and that thing I do is comedy. And they're like, what? that's what it is.
What is so you've been in it for like 6-7 years, which is the golden point as a comic. Once you hit that 7-year mark is when you really start to come into your own. That I've experienced and noticed. What is though going back like the worst experience, the worst show that you've had? Not necessarily that you performed horribly and bombed, but just the worst show. Like I've done a show for a college, like you said you've done college. I've done a show for a college where I get there, I have no idea other than just I'm doing this college. I meet the people they're putting the show on. And I go in and it's like MU, whatever the shit where people eat lunch or whatever at college.
Yeah.
And it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm following some woman that's like trying to get a petition started for some new class. And they're like, and comedian Kevin Elliott. And I'm like, this is not going to be good.
She's like, let's take care of ISIS by bombing. Speaking of bombing, Kevin Elliott. And you're like,
it's totally like that.
You're
right?
like, thanks. You might as well brought me up to an AIDS joke. What are you doing here?
Exactly.
And I totally know what you're talking about. The one experience that I always tell people about, like especially when young comics and they seem frustrated, I go, okay, well, I used to run that coffee shop show when I started. I used to run that, and when I started, I would get like 30 to 40 people there all the time. I would get like a big following, right? Because it was different. Young kids wanted to come out and see what's happening, and I'd put anyone on. People would like show up with guitars. I'm like, yeah, hop on, whatever. And
Smelly cat.
So like, yeah, I was having like all kinds of fun with that, and then it was like one Tuesday. I was probably because I probably just went to my head too much at one point. So I was like, this is going to be a good show, right? And I like wrote all new jokes. And no one showed up. Like it was completely dead except for a cowboy. And he went and got a coffee. He sat down. And no performer showed up either because it was like a show up, go up. So I was like, I usually would just fill time talking or whatever. And so I was just kind of like doing my whatever I had, probably like 10 minutes, 15 of terrible minutes. And so I was doing that, and he sits down, and he's watching me, and I do that for a while, and I realize that just nothing's going to happen. So I kind of like do like a closing bit, and I start tearing everything down. As I'm tearing it down, he's still sitting there, and I go, so you enjoy the show? It's a terrible question. Of course he didn't enjoy the show. And he just looks at me, he takes a sip of his coffee, and he looks me straight in the eyes and goes, I just didn't get it. And then he just walks away. And that bothered me for so long. Like, I just want to, like, go after and chase him. Like, no, I got more. Just listen. But I didn't. And I was just like, oh, wow. I should probably kill myself. But no, that was probably one of the worst times I ever bombed. That and I guess another experience about that would be, like, I did a show. I couldn't even tell you what the bar was. A friend got it for me. And I was just 20, so I wasn't 21 yet. Yeah. I couldn't get into all the bars. And so my friend got me this gig, and it was a variety show. It was a bunch of different people performing. And the guy that books it called me and goes, hey, man, I just want to discuss your act. I've never had someone do this. Still have never had anyone do this, really, at like a bar show. And I was like, all right. So I told him like what some of my jokes were about. He's like, you're not going to talk about kids, right? I go, well, I mean, I might throw something out there, but like I don't have any kids or anything. He goes, good. Another comedian performed and talked about his kids and got stabbed. And I go, oh, okay, well, okay. No kid jokes, that's fine. And so then, like, I have, like, 5 days before I have to get to this place. And I'm, like, telling all my friends, I'm like, yeah, some guy got stabbed there. And they're all like, wow, you shouldn't do it. And as a comedian, you know, you're like, what am I still going to do? They gave me 10 minutes. I got to, you know, I got these jokes I want to work on. And, so I get there, and I get ID'd as soon as I get there, and I go, oh, I left my ID in Wisconsin. And the guy's like, okay, well, just sit out here. And so I sat out there, and then I went up on stage, and it was like, you had to walk. They called me up, and I was outside, and as I walked through the bar, it was like dead silent, and I was like trying to walk to the stage, no music or nothing to play me on. And they're all just staring at me, and they're all older and totally not my crowd. And they're all just like, is he the guy that's... And I went up there, and I was like, what I opened with. I was like, yeah, people are weird. And instantly I started getting heckled, like, just get off the stage, like, just weird things. And I did like 8 minutes of pure silence, and then I go, all right, thank you. And no one came and shook my hand or anything. So then it was like another awkward walk out, like, all right, I'm also leaving. Like, and I just got in my car and drove like 20 minutes home. I was like,
Jesus.
He just kept driving. Past his home, he just kept driving.
Sweating, eating fries at In-N-Out. Like, where did I go wrong with my life? Yeah, those were my experiences, probably.
That's pretty bad, man. That's pretty bad.
I'm surprised you're alive.
Yeah, well, let me know what that bar is, because I do, like, a lot of kid material. So if I ever have to do that bar, I want to know that I'm not going to live after that.
I hope it burned to down.
I mean, his efforts hopefully were successful.
I mean, I don't mean to be rude, but probably with everyone in it. I'm just, you know...
I get you, man.
It was rough. They should have laughed at my dumb jokes. At least a pity laugh at that time.
Yeah, if you're going to go as far as to show
awkward,
up,
like, really, man,
at least support the cause, you know? If you're going to show up, support the cause.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't understand that people come in with an attitude
I don't either.
of, I'm not laughing tonight. Like, nothing is funny to me. They don't check their, like, self-righteous movement at the door.
Yeah.
You're in a comedy club. Anything goes here.
Came here to laugh.
They sit down and they're like, that guy's not Kevin Hart. And I'm like, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
You only paid $5 to get in, too.
But it doesn't even matter. I mean, even with shows with top headliners, you still get random people at shows that hate it. And it's like,
oh, yeah.
I understand that you cannot like a joke or think a joke isn't funny. The fact that you get offended is a bit ridiculous to me. One, because I don't get offended by anything. That's just me.
Yeah.
But two, it's a comedy club. So if you're a person that gets offended by things, don't come to a comedy club. Just watch it on YouTube until you get offended and turn it off.
But no matter what, it had to have been better than doing nothing at home. I'm going to do nothing, or I'm going to go to this comedy club. Like, it has to be better than that.
What the expectations are, I don't know. Maybe it's the people that get offended are the ones that get dragged there by their friends.
Right. That, and then also, like, I've noticed if you do like a club that like has like it's really like warm there, like, you know, like it's all about atmosphere too. Yeah. So like sometimes I always look for that too. I'm like, if you get to a place and I have troubles parking, I'm like, okay, everyone's having trouble parking. Yeah. You get there, you're like, I'm sweating. Like I try and keep that in mind. You know, for the most part, I'm like, okay, I try to give them, you know.
That's
like
pretty smart.
Recently, I've been like trying to keep a positive outlook and all that because I get it. I mean. I all the time get people that don't want to hear jokes from a 10-year-old, you know? Like they're like, you know, there's a grandparent like, shut up about iPhones. I don't know what that is. I'm like, it's from the future. And but no, like I try to like spin that. And recently, what I've been doing, because I mean, you guys all, I'm sure, you've been to shows where it's like 5 people in the crowd, and so this new thing that I've even talked about on stage a little bit is that. I try to look at it as if I was in like a tribe somewhere, like in another country, and this 5 people was the entire tribe. That means I'm headlining. I brought everyone out, right? So there's like 15 people in the crowd. You're like, tell your friend, you're like, yeah, dude, I got like 15 people there. Even Chum Chum showed up. The leader, Chum Chum, he showed up. You know, I try to like look at it that way. I'm like, all right, I got this little tribe that I'm working with today. We'll get something out of it. And but you're right, like sometimes you're just not gonna win. You know, you can do whatever it takes, and you're just not, because they don't want you to win.
Yeah,
you know?
well, and that's so last night, my set that I did, the jokes that work, I can't say all the time anymore because they didn't work last night. Most of the time got zeros. I mean, the crowd didn't even smile. And when you're doing it, and in the middle of it, it kills your confidence when you're like, they should be laughing right now, and they're not, so they're not going to buy into the rest of what this joke is. And so I've been doing it long enough to where I know tricks to make them laugh no matter what, but it's not my material. So I try to get them to laugh, and I do the trick, get them to laugh, and then I go into another joke that I want to do, and it's zero again, and it's like, fuck, man, I can't keep doing this. And you've got to fill the time that you were given, but then at the same time, you're like, it doesn't matter. Yeah, I'm just up here talking now, and they don't like it. Yeah. So I might as well just get the hell off the stage. And I'm sorry to the guy that books the show and makes the payment. Don't pay me as much. Like, I'm giving you a horrible show for these people. They're not into what I'm saying. So you get, as a comic, it's just a weird thing. We work on the fly so much that we have this shit that's prepared, and we try to make it come off like it's not, and then you have to ad-lib and riff on what the audience does. We work for them, and it's so shitty because there's so many different personalities. But then when you get them to laugh, you get in that pocket, and it's the fucking greatest thing in the world.
Yeah.
So I just feel your pain for having a shitty crowd, man.
Yeah, I did the Hidden House last night, and there was like...
Is that local?
Yeah, that's local. That's downtown. I really like that place. I've been going there for years, and I always pop in and do time anytime I can. And last night it was interesting, and like just like you said, like you have jokes that you know that work, and since like this weekend I have a big show coming up, so I have like all that like super packed, like done.
Yeah.
Like all of that's done. So now I'm like trying to work on other stuff and maybe like kind of fill in and like little taglines for things. So I went out there and I opened with a joke that I know kills. And then the rest of it was just me kind of going like, what about this idea? You don't like that idea? All right, I'll move on to this idea. Mm-hmm. And I did that for my entire set. So it was great because I opened up, I get on stage, and I introduce myself, and then I do the joke. It works really well, and I win them over, and then I just throw away the whole set with like just terrible ideas. Where they're like, I was looking in the crowd, and I could just see them being like, "Can you just go back to before? Can you just do that stuff?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not going to."
No, but also people that go to those kind of shows, like you have to understand that that's where we work.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
That's not our final product. This is us working. We have these ideas, and we have to say them. Whether you're there or not, we're going to do it, but you're there, try to enjoy it, and let us know with the feedback, you're laughing or not, and that's cool. If you don't laugh and it's new stuff,
yeah,
we know what we have to work on.
That's funny you say that. When I first started, and I first started doing like real comedy shows like that, like the Hidden House and whatever, and I had like my solid 7 of like A material, and I would like do okay, and I was like, yeah, I did okay. And then I see like a bigger guy go up, and he's just working on ideas. These are all terrible things that he thought of maybe even that day. And I'm like, I did better than him. Like, I had like this misconception. I'm like thinking he's doing his A material. Uh-huh. He's 8 years in, and he's doing that. Oh, I'm great. And then then I went to like more booked gigs, and I was like, oh no, he totally was not. Mm-hmm. He was just I don't know, sleeping on stage, I guess. And,
well, the best,
it's weird.
To really understand it, it's kind of weird. If you go to the Comedy Store in L.A. and you go to the original room at 9 o'clock and you just sit there, comics come up every 15 minutes, but they're headliners, people that you know.
Yeah.
And they're working out new shit. That's the room that they work in. That's to work all this stuff out. So you go and you're like, man, I thought Chris D'Elia was a lot funnier.
Yeah.
But he's working out his shit. Like, he's doing 15 minutes of garbage.
Yeah.
Because he's trying to figure out what works and what doesn't. And they're all like that. You sit there, and you're like, God damn, this show is 5 hours long. I'm out of here. I thought I was going to see hilarious headliners. You are. You're seeing them work out things that are eventually going to be funny. It just so happens, for us in Phoenix, we don't have that kind of room that does it every night. So we're all over the place.
Yeah, yeah.
Going from one place to another. And people are like, oh, this is a big show where all these like big Phoenix comics come. Yeah, we're not getting paid. We're working our shit out. Come to a paid one, you'll see us be really funny. But for now, these are just, we have to go from one spot to another to try and work it out.
That's true. That's true.
Which, by the way, everybody, I'll be in L.A. September 7th through the 11th at the Comedy Store. Everybody in L.A., come on out.
Who's going
actually
with
a few
you?
other places, too. Rob Maybe, Mike Dapper, and I don't know if there's somebody else. I can't even remember.
Are you guys all driving together?
Yeah.
I'm telling you need a bus.
Right.
If I had any more money, I'd buy you a comedy bus.
You have a lot of money.
I know, so maybe I'll buy you a bus. And you can bebop around town in it and tell jokes, save some gas.
You could hire me. I'll be your bus driver.
Hey,
There
look
you
at this.
go.
It's all coming together.
Yeah.
You're going to get a driver after all. I'm so happy for
Yeah,
you.
Thank you.
I'll
Today's
tweet
a big
about
day.
it and sell tacos out the back. Are you doing the show?
Oh my God, that's such a great idea.
I'm buying every
Right.
taco.
A taco bus that drives around and sells tacos and makes jokes and makes
Yeah.
people happy
Be like-
because of tacos and jokes.
They're like, whose truck is this? I'm like, Kevin, he's inside doing a set.
I love that. We'll call
They're
it.
like, aren't you a comedian? I'm like, just a guy selling tacos. Don't worry about it.
I'll be the cook.
I'll be on in
You're
5
the
minutes.
driver.
We'll switch.
I love that. That's such a good idea.
I'm down. I mean, I'm always down for side businesses, you know. Gotta get lucrative.
That'll make us our $500 million.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll be in the net worth game
Right?
because of our comedy taco driving shop.
Hold this taco. Jay-Z's calling me. Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
So what?
Tacos by Jay-Z. Beats by Dre.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
It was pretty
You're good at that shit.
So Zach, you're an observational comic, sort
Sure,
of,
I guess.
right? Sort of. I like knowing from observational comics what their writing process is or their creative process. It doesn't even have to be writing, but
Yeah.
where it all comes from when you get your best ideas and jokes down.
Well, back in the day, I used to just like walk around like Walmart and stuff and just be like, wow, that's an interesting lady. Let me just like listen to what
Follow her
she's
for a
saying.
while.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys know this, but it's kind of it ties in. I run a Twitter account called Overheard. I don't know if you know that.
No, I don't think so. Maybe.
I just started doing it, and it's basically that where like when I'm at restaurants or something, you know how like you're sitting somewhere and some leg behind you, like a great example. One of the tweets says I was sitting in South Dakota after a show in a like diner or whatever, and a lady behind me for the entire time I was eating was talking about bleaching her asshole. And so I was just tweeting like the thing she was saying. And she's like, yeah, no, it's totally clean down there. Like just like I'm tweeting that on my Overheard account. And
I love that idea. That's great.
yeah, the one that made me start it was I think it was the one that made me start it was I was walking down the street and a guy next to me was yelling across the street to another guy, and he goes, up a tree or puppetry? And I just looked at him and I just smiled. I was like, all right. And I just kept walking. I just wrote that in my book, up a tree or puppetry? I'm like, I got to work that in a joke, right?
Dude, that's
and just
awesome.
sat there forever, and I was like, it'd be great as a Twitter account. Where you tweet
That's
that.
brilliant.
Yeah.
That
Thank
is
you.
great. I will never forget. I was pregnant with my first daughter, so I was very sober and aware of
Yeah.
what was going on around me. I was sitting in a Chili's sideways. I think I was too fat to sit in the booth, right?
I know how that goes.
We'll get there. So I distinctly remember having lunch with someone. The man behind me is interviewing a woman to be
Yeah.
a call girl. And these are the rules of being a call girl. And she's just, oh, yes, I'm very up to the task. And
Ooh.
just, I'm trying to have some, like, Chili's, whatever the fuck you eat at Chili's. And there's this,
Buffalo chicken ranch sandwich.
I don't eat chicken.
Whatever.
So
Whatever.
other things that you eat at Chili's. And
Yeah.
this woman and this man are having this interview behind me about interviewing to be a call girl. And I'm like, holy shit, this happens. Like, I couldn't believe it.
So did she get the job? Or?
I think she got the job.
Good for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
At a
man,
Chili's,
times are
huh?
tough.
Chili's during the day, during lunch.
What's that resume
No
look like?
discriminating there. She wants her baby back, baby back.
That's funny. That's great.
But that would have been perfect
Yeah.
for your.
And I just recently started like retweeting people that do that too. Like I'll do that. But to answer your question, yes, it started off where I'd just go to Walmart and just things I'd see during the day, and it's kind of still with that. But then it's also like just like I guess out and about, and then I also like at least once or twice a week will like sit down and force myself to kind of like go through things like during the week and be like, okay, so I went to the mall, I went to like really like try to plan out. And it's when I first started doing that, it seemed so boring and pointless. I was like, I'm not going to get any ideas. And then I was like, oh yeah, that one lady was so weird. And then I write a whole bit about that lady, beating her
Yeah.
kids or something. And then I'm like, I'm not going to tell it at a bar show. That's a callback to earlier.
That's a callback, by the way.
Yeah, for you listeners. That's how we do it in what we call biz.
So good material. You could like ride the light rail. visit the gym,
no,
hit up the
and
Walmart.
I do a lot of experience, like obviously, like when you move and stuff. I wrote like, that's how my act changes too. Is like really what's going on at the time. Like I remember when I was moving out of one apartment in Phoenix into another, and I wrote like a whole 20 minutes just about all that because I got a lady fired, and
Shit.
and it wasn't even on purpose.
Gotta feel good.
I felt terrible because she had kids, and I was worried about her kids. And like when she was showing me the apartment, she's like, "My kids love running in the living rooms, and it's so open." And now she's probably homeless somewhere.
Jesus.
How'd you get her fired?
Well, it was with the deposit. She told me I had great credit, which I do, and
Of course, you're white.
I mean, look at me. And so she's like, you have great credit, so only $100 down. And so I wrote the $100 check, gave it to her. A day later, her boss calls me and goes, I'm confused, Zach. Why'd you bring only $100? It should be $600. And I was like, wow, that's a lot to move in. I was told it was $100. And she goes, who told you that? And I was like, the other lady. She gets off the phone with me. She's like, I'll take care of it. Gets off the phone. And then like a couple hours later, I get a phone call. She's like, don't worry about it. I took care of it. Carol no longer works here. It'll just be $500 more.
But you still have
I was
to
like,
pay full price.
I don't think you know what taking care of it means. I'm not moving in there. I'm sorry. This is terrible. So I went and got my money back, and that was a whole nother experience. And yeah, so I like ended up writing like 20 minutes about this lady and about how I moved and about having 2 apartments at one time. And
So that lady's kids can live in one.
Good call.
no,
So
no,
now
they're
she's
still
not
homeless.
homeless.
No,
Oh.
they're
They're
still
still
homeless. Yeah,
homeless.
I just
Son
They
of a-
drive.
actually live right out front of the door.
Yeah, they under the bus thing.
Love
They
that
cover
grass.
themselves, and I just wave sometimes.
Yeah.
Sorry about your situation.
Yeah, remember me?
Sorry about your situation.
Go get a job at Chili's.
I was to say, there's call girls at Chili's. So.
Hey, man,
They're doing, like, what is it? Open interviews.
At Chili's, that's right.
from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
2 a.m. They're call girls.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
You need to be flexible. Can't discriminate on hours. when you're
Higher,
a call
flexible. Sorry. There's that hacky, silly slapstick, whatever you want to
Girl.
call
I'll laugh at anything.
Yeah,
Keep
okay.
it coming.
it. I'm good.
Do you believe in ghosts?
Yeah.
Have I asked you that before?
Yep. And I went to a cabin this weekend. What's today? It's not important. This last weekend that
Congratulations.
happened. Thank you. I went to a cabin with some girls
Go on.
in the woods. Holy Hannah, if I hadn't believed in
everyone's alive?
ghosts,
Okay.
now I believe in ghosts.
Oh, really?
Just to be real clear, the carpet in the room was bright red, and it was so scary. And I stayed in a room with just me and my sister. We went on a girls' trip, and both of us woke up in the middle of the night. So she's like, did you hear that? I'm like, I heard it. And it was just like both nights we were spent the night. I woke up in the middle of the night, both nights, like something was in that room. One of the times I woke up, my little sister's in bed with me. I'm like, get out of my bed. She's like, that'd probably be best. But I tell you what, that cabin had a ghost.
I believe in you believe in ghosts?
Yeah, I actually lived in a haunted house.
You did?
Yeah, in South Dakota when I was a child.
Let's hear
What they
it.
did, the house was so old, they didn't have a record of it because it was before the town.
What?
This-
That's like before Carfax.
It's
that
like
kind of
super
shit.
old house, right? And what they did, I mean, I was like probably like 8.
Dude, that's creepy in
And,
itself.
I know.
kind of.
I'm like,
What-
wait, there's no record?
What
no,
they did was
Zach
they,
was 8.
yeah, I know,
And he's
right?
here. Was he allowed
What was
to be
that
here?
like yesterday? I was
We're
waiting
both
for
on
that.
probation. Is he allowed to be here?
So, like, what they did, I guess, I'm trying to remember how you would really explain. I guess they, like, Legoed the house. They took houses around. and-
Lincoln Logs.
I guess they stacked them on top of each other. So, like, they're
Stacks.
different houses, and they, like, built one on top of another.
Oh.
And then they cut off the top stairs for a long time. So when we moved in, my dad built stairs, and then we were up there, and I remember, like, finding pictures of, like, people living there in the 70s, and then, like
That was
older
so-
periods. No, I'm just saying, like, generations. I know the 70s. You don't worry about it. I'm sorry if I offended you.
Fucking old.
Talking about that or iPods. Sorry. But yeah, like, it was like that. And I remember, like, a lot of weird shit happening in that house. I remember, like, one time, because I slept downstairs, and one time some guy came in, and this is back when, like, you know, you had the phones on the wall,
Yeah.
you know, back then when they were not all wireless. And,
Just went right to an operator.
yeah,
So weird.
operator,
Connect me too.
get me to my neighbor Kyle.
Why don't you just open the door, you lazy son of a bitch?
Yeah.
Yell his name.
He's like, this is Kyle. I'm at my job right now.
There's 2 people in this goddamn town.
Kyle wears 2 hats.
Stop calling me Dad. So, anyway, like, one time there was, like, the phone was by my room, and, like, I guess a figure came in and used the phone. And, like, because I remember I could, like, see through him, and then he was, like,
Whoa.
like, talking or whatever. And I was like, what's happening? And I thought I was dreaming, right? I was like, well, that's obviously a dream. And I was a child. And the next day, my dad goes, did someone come use our phone last night? And I was like, what are you talking about? He goes, no, I heard someone talking on the phone last night, and I heard him hang up. He's like, did you see someone come in and like, use it? And I was like, yeah, I did. Like, it was, like, the scariest shit. But, yeah, that was, like, that happened, and then, like, I know my sister has stories about her, too, but, yeah, it was, like, a real haunted house, bro. And we owned it for, like, a long time, but it was creepy.
Long time too long. Why?
I've seen a ghost, but I've talked about it before.
Did you see a new ghost?
No, I didn't. I brought this up because on Facebook, which everybody knows I hate Facebook, but yeah, I'm still on it all day long.
Yeah, you would be. You would be one of those people.
Thanks.
Let me write a post about how I hate Facebook. Go on.
This girl posted a video of like this thing in a hotel. Okay. Right? And I'm trying to look at it right now as I'm telling how it goes down, because I don't know if there's sound to it. I watched it without sound, which is probably even creepier. And you just read the little subtitles underneath. But they get a call that they're screaming in one of the rooms, right? So the security guy goes up the elevator and he's like talking to the person downstairs on the phone. And she's like, yeah, I guess they're screaming in room, blah, 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 but there's nobody that's checked into that room, so, like, go check it out. So the guy goes up to the door, right, and he's knocking on it, and he's like, hey, anybody in there? I can hear you. And it's, I guess, like, pretty blatant loud screaming from a woman. Yeah. And he just keeps saying, like, yeah, I can hear it. And the lady on the phone with the guy that went up there, the security guy, was like, I can hear it, too. And I can't find it. God damn it. Anyways, I'll just tell the story without continuing looking. So he's knocking on the door. He keeps knocking, and there's like apparently really loud screaming. So finally, she's like, go in and check it out. Which, of course, I would tell anybody to do that if I'm not the guy. Yeah. Go in and check it out. And this guy, he unlocks the door, opens the door, and has a flashlight because it's dark in the room. Has a flashlight. The screaming stops, right? And the door stays open. He walks in the room. And you hear him say, holy shit, dude, this is freaky. And all the furniture was flipped upside down. All of it. And the rug, what was wrong with the rug? I don't remember. Something was wrong with the carpet, whatever had happened. All right. And then he comes out of the room, he's like, oh, I'm freaked out, and, like, leaves. And then they play it back, like, in case you missed it, this is what happened. He opens the door, walks in, and then you see, like, the outline of a ghost walk out of the room and go walk down the hall. Dude, I got chills just saying it again. They show it twice. The light flickers and the body walks out of the room and goes down the hall where the security guy went. I'm so uncomfortable. I don't want to talk about this anymore.
I know. What the hell? I could pee so bad. Now I'm not going to go because I have to leave this room and go into a dark room. So thanks, asshole. Yeah. And thanks a lot.
Anyways, I firmly believe in ghosts.
You're such an asshole, too, because last year when we started this, he told this story of this little girl ghost, and I think about that story all the time.
Do you really?
Last night. And it's not even my ghost. It's Kevin's ghost. And I'm like...
I don't think it was mine. I think it's my ex-wife's. But
now it's yours.
Now it's mine. So thank you for that. Thank you for your ex-wife's ghost.
Look, apparently if you see a ghost, again, you're supposed to ask them nicely to leave.
But I'm kind of like scared because I don't want to be disrespectful.
Yeah. Dude, I'm scared all the time now that I believe in them. I literally, at night, you know, it's funny because during the day, I don't give a shit.
Ghost schmoes.
It's like, come on out, fellas. Naps. Let's have a nice talk. But then when the lights go down, like the sun goes down, the lights come off, I'm like, where the fuck are you, dude? This is really creepy. Please don't be here. Please don't be here. Please don't be here. I just have a constant recording on my little nightstand that says, Ghost, please kindly go away. Ghost, please kindly go away.
Just kidding.
That was kind of scary.
I had to.
Oh, no. It freaks me out. Dude, I really did get chills telling that story.
I know. Why do you do that?
I didn't mean to.
Once a year you do this. Don't do it again.
I love that you're freaking yourself out.
Yeah.
You're like, and you're like, don't.
That's how bored we are. When you're our age, that's how bored you are. When you're your age.
We're 10 years older than you.
Oh,
the sky's the limit. When you're our age, you got to make shit happen.
And then when you're my age, you just hear people go, when you're my age.
Hey, whatever. I'm jealous.
Time is linear, so I will be.
Oh, I'll tell you, I was at the gym today. Speaking of ghosts. This woman was probably like 60 to 70. I'm going to go with 70. She's really fucking old. And I walk into the bathroom and she's doing her hair and she's like, it just never gets any easier, does it? I'm like, oh, well, the fact that you're 3 times my age, I'm going to guess I don't know.
3 times? That's 2 times.
Fuck you. And fuck you.
She probably had dementia and thought she was talking to her daughter.
I'm going to say she was quite a bit older than me. I'm going to say she was 65 or 70.
Okay.
And she tells me, it just never gets any easier, does it? She's blow drying her hair. Like, okay, well, that's not that fucking
Pubic
hard.
hair?
Yuck. Anyway.
Just saying, women walk around
she
naked.
She asked me, like, it never gets any easier, does it? That's the words that came out of her mouth as I walked into the restroom. I was like, I don't know. You're quite a bit older than me. I would hope that you're going to tell me it does get easier.
It does.
But
when
she
you
assumed
lay down.
I was. Gravity
moving.
gets
Hey,
easier.
yeah.
But she assumed I was her age, that we could share this. It never gets any easier, does it? Phrase. And I'm thinking, no.
See,
I'm
I
not.
get the opposite spectrum.
I'm hoping that this is great. Like, it stays this great.
I get like 16-year-old girls ask me to prom. You know,
you should go.
Like if I'm like
Kevin's
walking around the
dream
mall.
come true.
If it's just me, especially, like if I'm with my friends, the fact that they look like my actual age,
Yeah.
you know, that helps out. But if I'm just by myself, they'll be like, "So you go to what high school you go to?"
Yeah.
Or like one time I was
You're like the
Learn the high
Phoenix
schools.
Penitentiary.
I was
in the
at
neighborhood.
Safeway one
And
time,
do that.
and I was buying stuff, and the cashier was a lady. She didn't look too much older than me, like maybe early 30s, and she was like, "So you starting up school?" And I was like, "Yeah," like just trying to like lie. "Sure, I'm in college, whatever." And she's like, "What high school are you going to this year?" Like, we're like the same age, lady.
Find out where her
Look at me.
daughter goes. Take advantage of that. You have something working for you. You should really go with
Yeah.
this.
I think that works for Justin Bieber. Callback.
You and the Beeb, you have that in common.
Yeah, we could hang out, you know, totally
Share
have the
the
same
ladies.
lifestyle.
You
Yeah,
should
dude.
totally take advantage of that. If I looked like I was in high school, I might take advantage of that. Good prom, sure, I'll go.
That's
Whatever.
the creepiest thing you've said since I got here.
That's not true. I've said way creepier things. And given my age, I would have fun at prom.
Oh, prom would be the best now.
If I know now
Yeah.
and be able to implement it, you know.
Did you go to both junior and senior prom?
I went to,
figures. You know what?
yeah,
Go fuck
I went to
yourself.
prom every year.
Freshman.
Freshman.
so-
I was a super big slut.
Someone asked you your freshman year?
He was older, he went different schools.
Yeah, obviously.
Wow.
That's gross.
Yeah.
It's fun.
See.
Yeah, I bet it
Yeah.
was.
Fun, though.
The
You're just
molestation
jealous.
was probably a blast.
Yeah, he was a chaperone actually.
Ooh.
And he
Ew,
asked me to be
dude.
his date.
He was the
I'm
principal.
I'm totally kidding.
No, you're not.
No, I only went to 3 proms.
Only.
First,
Only.
you went with his son, and then he's like, "I like
Yeah.
what's
I
happening
went to his
there."
grandson's prom, and then
Can you hook me up?
I have
with
no
that lady?
boundaries.
Did you go to prom?
I didn't.
Not
I,
yet.
Really?
No, I.
Yeah.
An age joke. What else would happen? No, I didn't go to prom. I actually dropped out of high school when I was like 16. I was like, this movie business is taking off. I'll do this instead. And went and got my GED and never looked back, you know? But no, I never went to prom. I went to one dance, and I danced with like 10 different ladies.
Woo!
And it was okay.
Was
And
it
I
at the
was just-
senior center?
No.
Oh.
It was I don't remember.
They had their yearly formal dance with 10 chicks.
I don't remember where it was.
Sweating to the oldies.
I remember being like an old Jew though there because like my dad gave me money for the dance.
Yeah.
And so I had like that and like obviously for food too. And of course they want you to take pictures and it's like $90.
Yeah.
And
Of course.
and my friends are all like, "Yeah, let's get pictures, right?" And I'm like, $90. You know how long I had to save $90? And my friends are like, "What's happening to you right now?" And
He's having a Benjamin Button moment.
yeah,
That's our
exactly.
guest.
I was like,
Benjamin
"No,
Button.
thank you." Like just pushing the camera lady out of the way.
By the way, drink 4 for Nancy, referring to Benjamin Button again.
I'll
Really?
do that.
Yeah.
It's my go-to.
Man, they are shit-faced with these references.
What is, what's your most embarrassing moment?
Embarrassing.
Yeah, have you
moment.
ever had one? Because as comics, I don't think we really get embarrassed. We
yeah.
don't anymore.
I can tell you a story. I'm trying to.
I can tell you one, but you know what? I'm going to save that.
No, I'm trying to think of like, I was like going to tell you like a story, and then I was like, actually, that's not even an interesting story. What would be my most embarrassing? My most embarrassing story would probably be any time that I'm with my family out to dinner, right? And I have like my entire family there, right? And it's on my mom's side, and you got like doctors and nurses and like engineers. And then they go, what are you doing?
And that embarrasses you?
And then I go, banking. I'm doing banking. Great in financials. Credit score, amazing. Yeah, no, that's always like, that's always probably the most embarrassing moment is when I have to go, I tell jokes on stage. And they're like, we don't watch comedy. And I go, I know. You would be more impressed if I said that. 300 people last week disagreed with you. And they're like, we don't care. That would probably be my most embarrassing. You don't get embarrassed when you're like with family and you got to do the whole like shtick of, I do comedy. And they're like, oh, okay.
No, because my family loves it.
He's a Jewish boy. His parents think he does nothing wrong.
Oh,
Come on.
That's not true, but my family loves that I'm a comedian.
Really?
Yeah, like loves it.
My dad does. My dad. Yeah, my parents are divorced, and my dad's totally all about it. Like, he's totally cool, helps me out with anything I need help with. And but on my mom's side, it's all like real, like, gotta go to college type of people.
That's funny. My parents are the same way.
Yeah.
My mom she won't even listen. She's listened a few times. She'll listen to like the first and maybe like in the, a couple of shows ago, and she's like, well, it's come a long way.
Yeah.
My dad's just, so what's going on? What are you doing new? Like, he loves it, and he can't be offended. My mom's just, she wouldn't listen.
Yeah, my dad.
I'm not allowed to listen at the house, so I was listening in the car.
Yeah, my dad will come out to like any show he can. Like if it's like a bigger show, I don't drag him to like open mics or anything like that because obviously I'm like, you want to see me, you work.
It's like you at the comedy gym.
And yeah, so like he'll come out to stuff like that, and then honestly, my mom has seen a few things, and only recently, the first time in probably years that she's ever seen me do stand up was she found out that I was on Rooftop Comedy, that I did a set for them like a month ago. Mm-hmm. And so there was like a write-up about it, and she found the write-up, and then she emailed me and she goes, I saw you do stand-up, and that was the email. And then I was like, so what'd you think? And she goes, you have jokes, and good for you. And I was just like,
that was on the subject line.
yeah, exactly. With a tag of a picture of a college or something. Oh, how'd that get in there? Thanks, Mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm fortunate. Like, my parents are so super supportive that, like, when I stopped doing stand-up, that's when they hated me the most. So, like, I did it for 8 years and then stopped for 7, and that whole 7 years was like, so where are you going with your life? And then I jumped back in January, and they're like, great, all right, where are you going? What are you going to do?
That's funny.
Yeah, the same question,
That's
different
cool.
tone.
Oh, it's the best.
But I think you asked this more specific question, not like what's your most embarrassing scenario, but have you ever been situationally in the most embarrassing?
I would honestly
experience?
say that would probably be one of the most embarrassing.
So dinner with your parents, nothing ever like terrible. I mean, I can think of 3 things just.
Really off the top of my head, no, because I'm such a like laid back person. Like when things happen, I go, yeah, this is happening, and they're like, Zach, this is terrible for you. I'm like, yeah, this is, and then I
the inner monologue.
Yeah, and then I wake up tomorrow and I go, yeah, yesterday wasn't so bad, and move on. Yeah. I don't know. I'm too. All my friends say that too. I'm just too relaxed. Where it's like, honestly, someone could like be raping me in a mall, and I'll be like, yeah, that was a scary moment in my life. And that's all you have to say, and I'm like, yeah, that's it. Move on. I don't know.
Question for you then.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just I'm just one of those people. You guys want to tell an embarrassing story? I'm interested now.
I did. Now I don't.
Why?
Because it's completely lost on you.
Really? No, I want to hear it.
We're good.
I want to hear what the
mistake.
common folks say. I'm kidding.
Oh, common. We'll have to find her.
What's yours?
She's not here.
What's yours, Nance?
It doesn't seem. Now it seems forced.
Say it.
Yeah, now you have to.
Okay, well, this is, let's see, I was 20. And the only reason I bring this up is because this to date is the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to me.
That was the question.
But of all the years that has passed, I feel like I've overcome it, and now I think it's funny.
Good.
Okay, so I was 20 years old, and I had a boyfriend at the time, and we made a movie, maybe.
Okay.
One of us had a video camera, and we thought, oh, you know, what 20-year-olds do with a video camera.
Yeah.
We did that. And then my boyfriend at the time played baseball. So I was at his baseball game. And
Little League.
yeah. Right, I'm into that kind of weird. No, he was in baseball, and the girlfriend of some other player was sitting next to me, and she asked me if I would film her boyfriend's at bat, because she had to go to the bathroom or whatever. So I'm like, sure, I'll film that for you. And let me preface this by saying, when we made that video, I was like, under no circumstances is this not being erased by the end of the night. Oh yeah, I got that. It's erased. Of course it was not erased.
Right.
So I film her boyfriend's at bat, and she comes back to the bathroom. And let me tell you, this girl was Jesus this, Jesus that, because she was like very religious.
Oh, yeah.
And thank the Lord for this.
I
And,
say it at such a downer.
oh, yikes. You know how I feel about religion. I'm against it. So, so she rewinds it. I'm like, here you go. I'm just assuming that tape was demolished, and here you go. Here's your husband or your boyfriend's at bat. He did great. Here you go. Rewind it about 20 seconds, and this is, she's watching, and I'm watching through the screen, those double-sided screens, and so her boyfriend goes, and his at bat, and good job him, and then it just immediately clicks on to whatever went on the night before, and she goes, oh, I think this belongs to you.
She's like, I've never seen someone use a shovel like that.
Oh my
like,
God, you have no idea.
What?
Oh my God, I told nobody that story, and now I just told everybody that
Why
story.
don't you use that in your act?
Not a bad story.
Well, because I think it could be a lot better.
Yeah, refine it over time. I think it could be a good story.
It could be.
You
Maybe
I'm
I'll
all
work on
about that. But
But she's very religious, and that all I could
Right.
think about is how religious she was, and she's watching this, and I'm just
yeah.
like, oh my God, I can't.
Now she's a heroin addict. You changed her life.
And we were the only people each other knew. We were out of town together. We weren't local. I'm from Arizona. We were in Florida watching this game, and she was the only
Thank
person I knew.
God.
So the next day I have to go and sit with this woman and be her friend,
Wow.
and she never spoke to me again. And she sat on the other side of the bleachers from me the rest of the season.
Did her boyfriend make it to the pros?
Nope.
Of course
With
not.
a smile.
And that's why. No, but he just wasn't that good.
Well, I figured
My video was better.
I should preference of saying why my most embarrassing would be that way is because of like how much anxiety I have in general. So like I have horrible anxiety over the dumbest stuff, and then like I said, I can just be so relaxed about everything else. But yeah, now I get like I used to have like even when I first started doing stand up, I used to get really bad social anxiety about going to new clubs and stuff like that. I used to like not go to new buildings. Like I would even eat at the same places because I knew that building. A lot of weird anxiety.
I don't think it's
things.
weird, dude. I have it.
Okay, so you know.
Yeah.
And so like I used to have anxiety really bad about that. And so that's why my most awkward would definitely be a conversation instead of something physical or anything like that. But yeah, no, it's I'm sorry I don't have a cool story like you. And
Oh, do you think that's cool?
well, yeah, you can write a whole hour about it now. I mean, you know.
Okay, well, maybe that's where I start. Maybe it'll be with that story.
Yeah, why not?
Maybe.
I'm always telling comics that. Like, comics will always tell me these crazy stories about, like, I remember my friend told me, simple story, about how he went to the car, like AutoZone or something like that, to get his car looked at, and a big jock dude looked at him and goes, "What's up, Zero?" Because he had a zero on his shirt. And he just automatically, like, shut down. And he's just like, I don't know what to... You know, and he's like a comic, so he's like, I had nothing funny to say to him. And he's just like, that jock just destroyed me with one word. Just destroyed my life. And he told me that right before he had to go up on stage. I'm like, why don't you open with that? Opens with it, works well. And I'm like, you gotta life experiences, man. I mean, especially, that's a great story to tell.
Is it?
You know?
Yeah.
That's why
Yeah.
I've never told it before.
Well, yeah, because
and I've never met you before.
right.
Tonight, there's a lot of firsts.
It's not a common.
tonight.
It's not a common story, so people are intrigued. You know, instead of me being like naps, everyone's like, yeah, naps. I get it. You're like sex tape, and they're like, ah.
No, but that's not a sex. Well, I guess I have a sex tape. I don't think
You have
that
a baseball sex
technology exists anymore.
Remix. Okay.
That I could even make a sex tape out of that because I think it was like a VHS
Probably.
video camera. So I think
I know,
my
one
sex
day
tape
out in the
career
sun and it's
is
gone,
done.
you know?
I think I missed the opportunity.
Yeah.
But I'll say one thing, sex tape wise, that is nothing I would want for anybody. Like, that was the worst experience of my life.
Yeah, it's pretty
I
terrible.
would never, ever want anyone to have to go through
You
that.
see
That's
how horrible it was
And
for
it was just
Kim
one other
Kardashian.
girl. Net worth game, Nancy.
Drink two,
go.
Kardashian reference again.
$6.
You guys are implanting this in my head. I'm not even like a topical comic in any way. Now I'm going to have a whole set about... no.
See that?
You guys, did you ever do that show at Stamp Scottsdale? It was years ago. I don't know if they do it anymore at all. Where you write jokes during the week?
Oh,
topical
no,
jokes?
they stopped doing that show.
What's that called?
Oh, man, what is it called?
The Joke Off?
Yeah,
Yeah?
I think that sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that one time and realized I was really good at topical humor, and I hated myself. I was like, because, like, you know, obviously, like, anti-punk Zack whatever as a child, and then I'm up there like, so Kim Kardashian, and they're all like laughing.
Drink
like,
two more. Kardashian reference.
I'm trying to
We're
get
10
them
drinks.
shit-faced. So they don't have to hear the rest of my shitty stories. But yeah, I was like, that was a really fun show. I wish they still did that.
Yeah, they talked about it. I was never around when they did that one. And then right as I started getting back into it, I think they had like 2 of them. It was once a month maybe. I think they had it going on.
Okay.
And after they did like maybe one in February, they just never did it again.
Yeah.
It turned into something else. And now The Room on the weekends is a whole nother show. But yeah, man, I wanted to do it when I heard about it. I'm like,
Yeah.
that just sounds fun.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was definitely, it was in a point in my, I guess you'd call it comedy career, where I was like one of those people where I was like kind of like hitting a roadblock with things. I was like at the time, and so then I saw about that, and it like totally changed my point of view, you know, because I was like writing something I totally wouldn't normally, and I remember I wrote like a lot in one day, like the day before. I had like the whole week, and I was like, oh, I'll do it later. And then like in one day, I'm like scrolling through like NBC and all these, like just online any website. I'm like, I don't know. And then I had to figure out what celebrity means anything. I'm like, I don't know who these people are. Yeah. So.
All right, well, Joan Rivers is in the hospital.
I heard that on the way
Right?
here.
She was getting
Sad.
throat surgery for her vocal cords.
So sad.
Stopped breathing, so they took her to the hospital. What joke do you have for that?
Well, you already said it. Like, wasn't she already at a hospital? Like, where was she getting throat surgery done? And good for you for picking up on that, because who the
true.
fuck does surgery at their house?
That they need to be rushed to a hospital?
Where
Like,
are
shouldn't
you
that have
getting
already been?
surgery done? Like, was she captured by like some bad group, and they
She's
were doing
like-
surgery on her? And
She's like at the vet, and they're like, we should have a real doctor take a look at this.
she goes to like a horse vet.
Yeah. There's a horse in the background, like, I agree. That's a stupid joke.
But you're so right. Like, where was she getting
Right,
surgery?
that was weird.
She should have been at a hospital getting surgery.
Yeah.
Well, that explains a lot.
Yeah.
You just answered a lot of questions.
She's 81. Like, it's
She's
pretty
my
old, right?
favorite comedian. As a woman,
Is
she's
that
my
really?
favorite female comedian.
81, but so she's had so much plastic surgery, and that's been like her thing
looks
for
great.
30 years, even more than that.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ, man, so much plastic surgery. Now, for an 81-year-old, like, she looks pretty good. You know?
I think she looks great, and she is my favorite female comic.
She's hilarious.
She's
Have
awesome.
you guys, I'm guessing you obviously have you seen her YouTube videos of like where she interviews comics in a bed? I like stumbled upon it. I'm like, what is happening here?
That's a wordy
And then
sex
I watched
tape.
the one like with Mark Maron. He looks so uncomfortable, like he's at his grandma's house, and it was pretty interesting. And I was like, I could watch 6 more of these. Like,
You ever get on that, like, that YouTube shit?
dude,
What's
I'm
it
like
called?
an addict.
6 degrees.
Oh, yeah, we did that.
6 degrees of YouTube separation.
Oh god.
This is great.
Where we started at something like we did this a long time
Anything.
ago.
We should do it again. It was fun.
We started with like a video, a search, I guess, that like our kids would put in.
I searched brown boots.
Okay.
Yeah. You remember yours? I don't really remember.
Brown boots, because I was talking to someone about it recently, and you go to the right and you click 6 times.
Yeah.
Like
I
the
was
suggested
on
videos.
like YouTube porn by click 2.
Yeah.
I started with brown boots. I just like
you get there like
and
you
what was
started
yours,
a
like
kid's-
necktie or something?
No, it wasn't. I think it was like Dora the Explorer, and because I typed in like kids will want to watch that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So I typed that in, and literally by the 6th one, it was adult shit that kids should not be watching.
Oh, yeah.
At all. So I watched it, and it was awesome. Showed my son, come on in here. Don't watch this Dora Explorer shit. It's ridiculous. But come on with the real stuff.
I want you to learn something. Son.
Yeah,
Daddy,
man.
why do you hold my head like that? I want you to watch. You're like, what?
The 6 degrees of YouTube stuff. We should do that again because I don't
That's
really
fun.
remember. It's been a while.
It's
Okay,
crazy.
next
what you
show we're
put
gonna do it
onto.
again.
You can. It's ridiculous. You can type in anything and then 6 clicks in, you're watching some
Nah.
girl twerk in a Walmart, and you're like, what?
The suggested shit. It's ridiculous. But yeah, I'll get on YouTube just to watch one clip of something normal.
You're in a YouTube of Joan Rivers with people in her bed.
Yeah.
Oh, gross.
But
Yeah,
like
I
5 hours later, I forgot to pick my son up from school.
Right.
My pants are on my ankles. Like, not even sexual stuff. I'm just that lazy.
This is one of our
Yeah.
grossest shows
You're
yet.
like, I'm still on the toilet.
Oh man.
But yeah, no, like the Joan Rivers videos. I couldn't even tell you how I stumbled upon that. I was watching something, and I was watching something else,
You know.
and then all of a sudden I'm on her channel watching 20 episodes, being like, she should really keep up with this. This is, each one of them have like 30,000 views. I'm like, these should have more. I think more people should stumble upon these.
That's hilarious.
It's ridiculous.
Now, you have videos on YouTube, right?
I do have videos. That's actually one of the first ways I started. Like I was one of the first people to really take advantage of YouTube.
Yeah?
Yeah, and it helped me out in some ways. And also with Funny or Die. That's a random story that I like to throw out to people. Is I was one of the first people to really take advantage of Funny or Die, and I took skits that were in that movie I made at 17, and I put some of them online, and they got put on the front page. And I guess now that means a lot. Then it was kind of like a thing they were just starting. They're like, see, we can put you on here. And so they got like thousands of views that way. And it was very strange, but it's like, yeah, I already made that. Like it was that whole feeling where I'm like, that's something already been done. And then now I'm just showing you again, I guess. So I wasn't even like really excited because it wasn't anything new.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I took advantage of that. And then I had a web series on YouTube. Please don't look for it. But yeah, I had a web series, and we ended up getting contacted by like different people. It was back when they were like, we could make money off of these YouTube kids, and so there was a couple of places that I submitted like pilots to that were like really interested, and then they realized that what our show was, I guess, and they're like, yeah, never mind. We thought you could totally change the show, and we realized you can't. So. We'll just go with someone else. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'll be over here. Be making these.
You're a forward thinker, though, man. I think getting this from this whole episode, you do think ahead of what you can use and what you can do and kind of forward yourself in the business, which is great. A lot of people can't do that.
Yeah, I guess I could look at it that way. I honestly, when I first started, a lot of it has to do with my dad, where he was kind of like, okay, well, you can take this comedy thing, but you got to do like these other things too. And I mean, you guys obviously know that comedians, I see them say word for word, especially on Facebook and stuff, I'm a comedian, I'm not a marketer, I'm not they're naming out all these things. I'm like, well, you kind of got to, until someone else cares about you, you got to do all that. And so like, it was really like my dad kind of put me on that road of being like, you should take advantage of this. And, he gave me really good advice, too, of, like, surround yourself with people that are better than you. And when I did that, I started doing that with, like, comedians and, like, other people that were kind of in that show business. And I just was, like, a sponge absorbing what they were doing,
Yeah.
and trying to take advantage of that.
That's great advice. Because
Yeah.
it's true, man. You
It's
need
so
to put
true.
yourself with people better than you. It raises your game. It teaches you subliminally without
Yeah.
even trying.
Oh, yeah.
And man, some people get afraid of it, and even the same with sports. It's like, I don't want to play against them. They're really good. No, you do. That's how you get better.
Yeah.
There's a few ways to get better at it, and that's a really fast way to get better.
Yeah. Well,
Be
it's
around people that are
yeah,
better
like
than
when I did a tour through the Midwest recently, and when I did that, there was a couple like places I got to, and I was on like small shows and stuff like that, or whatever they would fit me onto, and there was like sometimes I'd see these comedians, and you'd think like you're in the middle of nowhere. You're like, obviously there's not going to be any talent, and there's these guys just destroying on stage. You're like, wow, like you're like, I'm in the middle of nowhere and this guy's killing. Like, there's obviously a system, and it makes you realize you're like, there's more out there, and you gotta grow, and you gotta be around those people, and like you said, like really play against them in some form.
Wait, so we talked about earlier how you're kind of onto things before a lot of people are, especially being a comedian. What do you think the next platform is for comedians that don't know?
I think we're kind of, I just wrote a whole blog piece. You guys ever read Connected Comedy? It's like an online thing for comedians and stuff, but they always like throw out different advice on like what to do with your career or whatever. And I decided to take upon myself of Snapchat. And to tell you ahead of time, I never used Snapchat really, and I was scared of it because I was scared of all my comic friends sending me dick pics. And I was just scared of all that, right? So I was like, I'm not going to really use it. So I just recently adapted it, and what I started doing was 10-second jokes, because all you can do is 10-second videos.
Right.
And so what I was doing, I decided for 7 days straight, I would do 10-second jokes. And the first day, I posted 2 of them, and they were brand new jokes. And then I realized, like, on the second or third day, that I could take a joke that I already had and just floor mat it for like a 10-second thing, which is set up in punchline. So I was doing that, and when I started, I had like 5 people looking at it, because I have it set up where only my friends can add me and I have to accept them. And so there was like 5 views, and then on the second day I was at like 10 views, and then as it went on, it just started like growing and growing and doubling, and I wasn't even really trying. I was using stuff I already written. I was using whatever I thought of that day. Like I did like 2 days of like T-shirt ideas that are just silly T-shirt ideas, and they just fit the 10 seconds. And I started getting like a real response, and like started like having friends tell other friends to add me. So I was starting to like get people I didn't know. And I think things like that, like small, like I was talking about, like tribes, I think that's all going to tie together, where it's like you're going to grow a fan base that way. And I think that's the next big thing, is just figuring out how to be more personal with things.
That's awesome. It's kind of inspiring too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
So will you run on my social media shit?
Yeah, why not? And drive your bus and sell tacos.
Hey, whatever, man. Yeah, just will you work for me for free?
For free. Like he said that part quiet, for free.
Yeah.
Who's on your Mount Rushmore comedy?
My Mount Rushmore comedy.
If you can't answer it, then I'm not gonna. We don't want you to sit here and wait forever. But
next time.
Okay. Well, no, I'll do it. You just mean heroes, right? In the
kind of.
way.
I mean, who you think is? I think of it this way: for 4 comedians, it's who I think is the best, who inspired me, who molded me, who was important to me.
Okay. Ooh, man. Well, obviously, I already said Steve Martin, huge influence. I would say Ben Stiller too. I would put him on the list.
I like him.
And the reason I put Ben Stiller on the list is because when I was growing up and I wasn't sure about like doing stand-up, and I was just kind of like a weird kid, I would see like Zoolander and stuff and be like, that dude's just doing what he wants. Like, that looks fun. And he's always been that guy where he's just kind of like has his own way. So, and then
I also hear he's a really hard worker.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's what I hear too. And he did bodybuilding, right? I think so.
Yeah.
He's got like he like puts in the work, pumping that iron.
It's like a funnier Tom Cruise. He's like that dedicated.
Yeah,
funny.
Yeah, a little less crazy. Who knows?
Maybe.
Yeah, now Tom Cruise is gonna call me. I don't like what you said on the podcast.
You can come on. We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it. Tom Cruise, if you're listening. Let's see. So I got Ben Stiller, and then I'll put Mark Maron, because that was like a later in life thing, obviously, because I started following his podcast earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people knew about it way before I did, but I followed it years ago, and that changed my life because it was the first time I've ever seen a comedian that like really kind of was just like, and this is what's wrong with the world, and like really like in a bitter way. I'm like, whoa. You know, there's always been like bitter comics, but I always thought, I'm like, man, they're too negative. And Mark's kind of like, I'm bitter, but I want to figure this out. And you're like, okay, I can go with this guy. And who else would I put on the list? I would also probably put, oh man, why am I blanking on this?
Oh, you got one spot left?
I know, and that's why it's so much pressure. It's so much, you know, someone else might call me and be mad at me. All my celebrity friends, you know, that I hang out with all the time. Man. I'm just going to leave it at that right now.
All right.
I'm going to leave it at that
three
because
with an open spot.
Yeah.
That's all right.
I'll call in on one of your episodes.
All right. All right. Well, we have to, unfortunately, wrap it up, man. But you've been a fucking great guest. So, again, to close out the show, where can people find you, follow you, the whole nine?
Still at Walgreens. I like that joke from the beginning. I'm going to use it at the end. I'm going to close with that. Let's see. Well, you can follow me on Twitter at Zack Lyman, ZackLyman. You can find me on, you can just go to my website, ZackLyman.com. And I have a Facebook page, Zack Lyman. You can go collect likes there, I guess, and like pictures of me at 4 in the morning. And then I go, what? Why are you liking all my pictures? Block.
But you're up too, so that's weird. Yeah, you got nothing.
I'm on YouTube. Joan Rivers. Yeah.
In bed.
That's basically, that and, you know, just come out to the shows across America, I guess.
Awesome, man. All right. We always end with one question with our guest.
Sure.
So here you go. What would you attempt to do if you knew you could not fail?
If I could not fail?
Yep. One thing. What would you do if you knew you couldn't fail?
If I could never fail, I would get into, this is a whole nother side story itself, but I would get into MMA. I would sign with UFC, and I would just destroy in that until I was old. And then I would quit for a while, and then I would, like, 20 years even after that, come back and do, like, he's like, he's 75, and then destroy.
Can't fail,
yeah, exactly. And I'm destroying these 20-year-olds, and they kill themselves because an old man beat them up.
Old men have that old man strength.
Yeah,
so
exactly. That would be mine.
So good job.
That's awesome. That's a new one. We haven't gotten that one.
It's always different. I love that they're always different.
All right, Zach, thank you so much for coming in, man.
Thank you guys so much.
This has been another great presentation of the Four-Eyed Radio Network. You can catch more shows at foureyedradio.com.